The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100. We have quite a bit to talk about specifically on what was happening today. We had some pretty interesting price action over the week too. We saw that pretty nasty dip followed by a really nice bounce into this week. So definitely think it's important that we kind of retrace the steps and go over a few things. Also too, going to next week, I think this is kind of the biggest thing of all. CPI, PPI. CPI will be coming out Wednesday. PPI comes out Thursday. So definitely some things on the agenda. Michigan data also coming out on Friday. So kind of a little bit of a packed week next week. It's also worth mentioning we do have earnings season kind of starting as well. I think bank earnings kick off this coming week. And then we have, after this coming week, we have Tesla, Netflix, and a few of those the week after that. So like 2 weeks from this week, I might be losing you. So anyway, so we have a few things to talk about. Before we get into that, to ask you to consider liking and subscribing. Don't care. Do what you want to do, but I do appreciate it. Also, too, the newsletter. I recommend subscribing. It's 100% free. We're not selling you anything. Giving you a visual. This was sent out last Sunday. As you can see, the key levels will be looked for. In an event of a decline, we can expect support at 44.72, 44.26. Echoing last week's sentiment, the buyers need to hold us around 43.83, 44.07. Giving you a visual. Again, this is just to show you why this is important to keep on your chart. You can see we started to hold around this 43.80 level, bounce right back up, reclaimed 44.07, pushed back into highs, going back into every single level that was mentioned. Resistances as well. Okay, so this was all there, to keep you up to date. And everything in between. Nasdaq as well, every single key level was there. We ended up kind of testing this high level once again, but getting pushed right back down. So again, I recommend checking it out. We probably have a few big names on there as well. We had Tesla, so you were ready and knew how to trade that. We also had Amazon going into the 200 SMA. We had a few others as well, so make sure, again, you check it out. Some big stuff is happening also. So now that we get that behind us, actually, too, the Discord link is down below if you're interested. If you're a beginning trader, I don't recommend joining. It's more for people that already have a good understanding and ready to take that next step. If that's not you, then again, the newsletter, awesome. It's free. Also on home, we have education, a lot of free content there as well. But yeah, so expectations into this week, kind of like them, right? So first of all, what I will say, elephant in the room on the day, we had some really good action, and then at the end of the day, from basically 1 o'clock into the end of power hour, I mean, it was just a drop. Like, it's terrible action to the end of the day, right? Just god awful. Okay. Nasdaq, great action into the day. Just turmoil, right? So we're definitely seeing this, we had really nice movement and then just boom into the day. So where does this leave me? Where do I stand on this? Again, as long as we're making higher lows, I'm a bull. As long as we're making higher highs, and technically on the 4-hour chart, you're not making higher highs, yet you're just really tightening in this range. But what I will say is the going trend over the past few months, okay? Higher lows continually. No reason to get overly bearish. No reason to start attacking the market towards the downside. I have a lot of educational videos out here, but the number one thing I say is trade the trend, especially when you're new. Don't fade the trend. See a lot of people trying to short the market and they're getting just destroyed, right? So I just want to make sure people understand the whole, don't fade the trend. It's your best friend. We look here, it's obviously the theme here. Now, what I do want to show you though is something is this 4,500 level, right? On ES. It reminds me a lot of what and I kind of have said this a few times. It gives me a lot of the same. It reminds me a lot of 4,200, right? Tested it for essentially like 4 months, got rejected a lot, but making higher lows in between. Now, we haven't been there for enough time. We're testing it, pushing down. Also, look at that daily candle. Absolutely gross on ES, but nevertheless, you're still pushing, making higher lows. There's a reason why we put this stuff in the newsletter and we put so much significance around these levels is so you understand what's happening, okay? We're going long into these levels, but we're not trying to go long at these levels, right? I'm not trying to hammer calls at highs or anything along those lines. I'm looking for opportunities when we pull back, when we mount above, etc. So that's the importance. So closing at around 495, which aligns perfectly with the key level we previously identified. So we need to understand that we got to mount this level. That's the next goal. That's the next target. In my agenda for us to push into all-time highs on the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, you need to mount above 4,500, 4,550. Those are the two levels. We bounce above that, we're good. We're clear. I think we're moving up with ease. We'll have a few levels in between us, but I do believe it's not there's not too many big walls there. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. That's just my feeling here. Now, until then, you're gonna have some turbulence. Okay, so I do want that to be expressed and addressed before we go too far. The Nasdaq, I mean, very similar level. We've been talking about this a lot. You know, your previous high back here, August 2021, you mounted it, you pushed into highs. You can see you held this right here as well. As you zoom in a little bit, you see how you held that as a bottom, and you flipped it, and then you made new lows and just got demolished. You know, that's where we're at again. You know, 15.16, 15.17. You know, these are the big levels, right? So, you know, very rarely, I mean, we don't have these massive levels in the chart at all times, but we need to identify that when you do, trade with caution when you get there. And so that's all I can kind of say here is I like how we're setting up. I like the movement that's happening, but trade with caution. But this week leads us into really an interesting time for a few things because it's kind of setting up what's going to be happening, specifically with CPI and PPI. We saw PCE drop at the last meeting, core PCE. Did I say PP? I think I said PCE is right, though. Well, this past Friday was PCE. Okay, so we had PCE drop, which is good. The Fed says that's the most important metric when we look at inflation. If we can start seeing core CPI and core PPI drop, I think we're in business and we look promising. Okay, we look promising. The biggest things out there too are we're finally seeing rent prices drop down as well. These are key metrics that we need to see. And so I'm not saying that we have to beat, but I'm saying if we do beat on CPI and PPI, it gives us more room and it gives us some fuel to start pushing up once again and getting a key breakout here, which is what we want to see. Now, on top of that, it's really important to mention we're coming into earnings. Like if we really look at what propelled us into these highs, it was earnings that pushed us here. Nvidia, you know, Meta, Google, Amazon, all these other Apple, Microsoft. These companies propelled us into these highs. And what was the going theme? Is expectations were growing and growing and growing. So if we can meet or even project better outcomes going forward, I don't think there will be a slowdown. We need to understand that. The market is evolving, and we need to understand that we're in a quote-unquote recession, or we just got out of a recession, or we're going into a recession, but the market is still dominating. Tech is still leading, okay? Investors don't want to miss the opportunity, and that's just the way that I'm looking at this right now, okay? And if you disagree, we'd love to hear a comment down below. We would love to have an educated conversation, argument, whatever it may be. But that's just what I'm looking at right now. And it's kind of worked out for us over the past few months. So until something changes, there's no reason for me to change my strategy, okay? But again, what I will say is be careful going too long at the highs. You don't want to short, go all in calls at highs. But you also don't want to go too short at these levels either because, obviously you're in a clear bull trend. So that's my opinions there. Now, a few things I do want to cover before I let you out of here. Bitcoin, I will say, I like Bitcoin in this dip. Really random. Don't cover Bitcoin a lot. But at 30K, I think it's a buy. It makes sense to me. I like it here. Anyways, DXY. DXY, very interesting. Okay. Now, on the daily chart, I keep talking about this. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. Everyone loves asking about it as well. Everyone's like, the dollar's bullish, guys. No, it's not. It's not. So we see that we're clearly in this descending triangle on the daily chart going all the way back to November of this past year, pushing down at this key level of around 101, 100.9. And we saw today the story of what really happens here. So we saw that bulls try to push you basically from 102 into almost 104. And then you get almost all that taken out in a course of a day and a half, specifically here at the end of the day when the market was dropping today. So when the market started dropping here at the end of the day, guess what happened? DXY gets hammered. DXY got hammered essentially all day today. Understand that. So again, as long as DXY continues to lose value, I think the metric has to be, where do people put their risk? Where do people put their money? Do you leave it in a dollar that's losing value? Do you put it in stocks? Do I put it in gold, which is also losing value? I mean, that's the real question here. Gold had a decent day today, decent little bounce. But when we look here as well, we go to the overall trend here, and you can see, right? Triple top here, still trending down in the short term as well. So again, have to be able to identify what's happening there. Again, the one giant question mark here are yields to 2, 5, 10, 30. You're still fully inverted. But again, I don't look at yields, if you were here from last year, the 10 and 30 inversion, as a short signal for myself like I did last year. Last year, there was a lot that could go wrong. Right now, I don't believe there's a lot that could go wrong in the market. I think we've seen a lot of the worst case scenario. So unless we start to see more terrible things come out, I have to just kind of sit on the pause button right now. But again, that's why I'm not holding extensive calls, right? I've trimmed positions as they go up, and then I kind of let some of them play out as well, and then look for different opportunities in the market. So I continue to say that, right? Want people to understand that. So those are the big areas there. Now, I do want to address a few things here. Now, when we look at a few stocks I like, there's a new one that came on the list today. I posted it on Twitter. If you follow on Twitter, awesome. Also, I've posted on Threads, Instagram version of Twitter. I love Threads. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have the Instagram link is down below. Follow us for Threads, whatever. I posted this on Threads earlier. Baba, I had to draw it up real quick on my phone. Sorry, it was ugly. Anyways, going into Alibaba. Dear God. So they had some pretty big news on the day. And when you look here at the weekly, you have it's a clear cut head and shoulders. Like there's no way around it. Clearly, you can see it forming out here. I'm just drawing it really quick. My mouse is messing up, so I apologize. But you can see the head and shoulder, head, inverse head and shoulders looks perfect. Breakout point would be 120. I posted this there. I posted it this morning around like $88. You're already at 90, hit 91, almost 92. You're killing it. But if you don't know, Baba and Ant Group basically resolved this issue. So China hits Alibaba affiliate Ant Group with a huge violating fine. But basically this takes all of the pressure off of Baba, and Baba loved it today. Even in the after hours, Baba is moving up. If we look at the stock chart on the day, Baba went straight up. Now, again, I also want to highlight too, go to the daily indicators. You can see the daily 200 SMA, you mounted above that, which is also a very big line in the sand. So this is another area you need to be watching. I didn't enter this position personally. I have to highlight, I give you guys plays that sometimes I may not even be able to get into or just don't have an exact entry. I just like to give you guys my thoughts as well. Like I just want to give you plays that I like and seem valuable. And that's the point of some of these social media outlets that we have, right? I do like Baba if it can hold above 88.5. I'll be looking for position, but again, I want to say right now, I'm only looking for a data position into the end of the year or maybe even sometime next year. I want time on these contracts if I'm buying options here, if I'm not buying stock. We have if you don't know, one of the biggest buyers on Alibaba over the past year, 2 years has been Charlie Munger. He has been stacking his portfolio with Chinese names. So there's a lot of sentiment. And look at the volume here on the daily. Look at that volume candle. Absolutely incredible. So there's a lot of sentiment about things that can go right here. But I just want people to understand the risk, especially with Chinese names. You guys know my skepticism with talking Chinese names, but really big fan of Baba here. I think there's a lot of potential. You could easily keep running. Definitely keep them on your radar, guys. I really love what's happening here. Baba could, and I'm not joking. I'm really not joking. Over the next month, 2 months, I could see us getting above 120. Bookmark this video. I probably will, so I can come back later and say, I got it right? You know what I mean? So anyways, really love Baba. Awesome name there. Meta, I think you had a lot of opportunity. Again, on Twitter, post this as well. And I just like to go back on Twitter just so I can show that I'm not like BSing you guys. So I posted this in Discord and I also posted it here. I finished up my meta position around 289, which is where we wanted to see us get a retest. And why 289? Going into that key level. Basically, it was that breakout point in the ascending triangle. You came back up, retested, you pushed all the way back into 296 from that level. Really great $7 break on just the day from touching that level. But I do want to say, some of these stocks, I like how they look long-term and overall, but if the indexes pull back, you have to understand your risk here, right? So you need to understand that viewpoint. I still love Meta, really love this position. And if I'm looking at this, I'm telling you right now, October, November, the positions I'm going for. I'm not going short dated. You can scalp it if you want, do it, whatever you want. I don't care. End of the day, I'm looking at data positions here. That's what gets me the most excited. I'm also looking at this at the viewpoint of potentially holding through earnings, which happen in 2 or 3 weeks. I genuinely think Meta may shock everyone with these earnings that are going to come out. And I think Meta is now, and again, people are going to get weirded out. They're like, dude, Tyler, what are you talking about? Meta is in the category of potentially doing an Apple, doing a Microsoft. If you start to break above some of these key levels, primarily like the 304, 305 region, there's still some turbulence here, like in the 330. But I'm going to tell you right now, there is a possibility this thing could run into all-time highs, right? Everyone said the same thing about Apple. When I said Apple could break into new highs back here when you broke out of the pennant, everyone was like, no. They said the same thing about Apple with the new AR goggles or whatever. Those are trash. Meta couldn't do it. I'm just saying, if you focus on what you're good at as a company, usually the market will follow you. Meta tried to change things up and go with these goggles and ultra reality, yada, yada, yada. It didn't do so good. Apple, they don't do too many new things, but they do things they're really good at. What they do, they made a new product, and all their products are as big as some of these Fortune 500 companies. The AirPods themselves are literally worth billions of dollars, just that single product. When we look at Meta, what they're good at is getting data, social media, and synchronizing the two. And number 4, copying other companies. And they do it better than anyone. What they did with Instagram with Reels, they mimic TikTok, and Reels is the safest category when you look at TikTok trying to get banned. Twitter, they're in a really big area of weakness. People hate Elon Musk. Their For You page is, they have some really big issues with the platform. They're trying to fix them. I use Twitter all the time. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's some issues that are there. And Meta said, you know what? We're going to take advantage. We're going to attack this while they're weak, while they're down, and we're going to try to steal everything from them. And guess what? They're kind of doing it. Over the course of under 48 hours, they already have almost 70 million signups. I want us to comprehend that. That is the quickest user base subscribers ever. If you reach 100 million subscribers on Threads, you would surpass their competition, which took them almost 6 to 7 weeks to get to 100 million, and they would do it in under half a week. Really consider that. If this gets done by Monday, you did it in under a week, and you beat the previous record by 5 weeks, which really is incredible to look at of their overall growth. And I think Meta is doing it right. And the platform isn't even done. The platform, honestly, it's super clean, this is unbiased. It's not even finished. Once they finish it, they implement hashtags. They implement the organic growth that you can get from other, channels and views on the platform. It looks great. That's also the other issue when we look at these other platforms like Twitter. There is no organic reach. And Elon Musk is going to be mad and try to sue them. But at the end of the day, if one of these has organic reach, the other one doesn't, everyone's going to want the one with organic reach because you can actually grow. That's why TikTok blew up, is because anyone and everyone can grow on there. And Instagram, Meta, Facebook has figured this out. And congratulations, kudos. That's why I love them. And, maybe this is biased. It's my opinion. But again, Meta looks very similar to Apple, looks very similar to the way Microsoft is moving. Gonna tell you that right now. Love it, hate it. It is what it is. These are stocks I'm liking. I'll have a video coming out Sunday over some other big things that are playing out. Also on the second channel, just so you know, there will be an educational video coming out tomorrow. And it has to do with fundamental analysis and AI and how it can do all the work for you. It's not a gimmick. It's actually pretty legit. And I really want to teach people the ways of fundamental analysis. I think this can really help us as well. See you tomorrow.